ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं वादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। वर्ष नंबर 17। काश्यश्च परमेश्वासः शिखंडी च महारथा दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकिश्च अपराजितः द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वश पृथिवीपतिः सौभद्रश्च महाबाहु शंखान् दद्मु पृथक पृथक। I repeat it again. काश्यश्च परमेश्वासः शिखंडी च महारथः दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकिश्च अपराजितः द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वश पृथिवीपतिः सौभद्रश्च महाबाहु शंखान् दद्मु पृथक पृथक। The meaning is, and all the excellent archers, the king of Kashi, the great soldier Shikhandi, Drishtadyumna, Virat, and invincible Satyaki, Drupad, the king Drupad, Draupadeyasya, the mighty son of Draupadis, Saubhadrascha, the Abhimanyu, the great warriors, they all blew their conches separately. We were studying in last that Sanjay was narrating the story of Kurukshetra to the king Dhritarashtra. Sanjay was telling about the Pandavas started their conch blowing. From the Pandava side, Lord Sri Krishna started first. Then Arjun. After Arjun, Bhim, then Yudhishthir, and Nakul and Sahadev. All Pandavas blew their conches separately. Today, we are studying that Kasyascha Parameshwasa. After that, the king of the Kashi, who was supporting to Pandavas, he was excellent, Parameshwasa, excellent archer. He blew his conch, and Shikhandi cha Maharatha, the great soldier Shikhandi. Who is Shikhandi? In the Mahabharata, this character is also very, very meaningful, very great character. So let's understand something about Shikhandi. In previous life, he was the girl of the king Kashi. Kashi king. And that time, there in ancient India, there was a rule, a method, a system like Swayambar. Swayambar means the girl has freedom to choose her partner. Freedom means, Swayambar means the girl was free to marry to her choice. So see the freedom of the woman in ancient time. We call it Swayambar. Swayam means oneself. Var means husband. When girl chooses her husband on her will, it is Swayambar. So this procession was being done in the Kasi Naresh palace because she was princess. So all kings and princes were invited in this occasion, and the kingdom of Hastinapur was not invited. And Bhishma was that time the ruler of the Hastinapur. He was not direct king, but he was the ruler. When he heard that news, Kasi Naresh is doing Swayambar, he has invited every kingdom, every prince, every king, but not Hastinapur. So he got very hurt. And he went to the Kasi Naresh palace and he said, I am taking these three girls to marry my brother, and he took them to the Hastinapur. When Hastinapur he reached, the one girl, her name was Amba. She said, I do not want to marry with your brother because I have already decided about my husband. So Bhishma said, okay, if you don't want to marry with my brother, then you are free. You can go anywhere, wherever you want. I can make arrangements to you. She went to the particular, the designated king, but the king was not ready to accept. She reached again to Hastinapur and said to the Bhishma, now you marry with me. Bhishma said, no, I have taken vow. I have taken vow. I have given a commitment to my father. I will not marry in my lifetime. So I'm sorry. This girl said, I am making a commitment. I would kill you. And it was not possible. Because Bhishma had some wounds from her father. Even death would be not able to kill him without his consent. So that girl did so many austerity and got boon. Not directly would be cause for death of Bhishma, but the girl would be cause for death for Bhishma. Next life, that girl became Sikhandi. In this life, he was the son of Virat. So this was very, very great warrior, soldier, Shikhandi cha Maharatha. Then comes Drishtadumna and Virat. Another person is Satyaki. Aparajita. Satyaki also is Aparajita, means unconquerable. No one can defeat Satyaki. Then Drupado, the king Drupad. After Draupadeyasya, the son of Draupadi. Then Saubhadrasya, the son of Subhadra, Abhimanyu. He was Mahabahu, the great warrior. Sankhan Dadmu Prathak Prathak. They blew their conches separately. Sanjay is telling to Dhritarashtra, Mahi Prathavi Pate, O king. So this way, the Pandavas army declared war. See the procedures. First, it was started from the Kauravas side. And that side, there was no harmony. There was chaos. But in this side, there is order. There is rhythm. First, Lord Sri Krishna blew his conch, then Arjun, then other Pandavas, then other kings. Prathivi Pate, Prathak Prathak. Prathak means they are not in hurry. They are calm, they are quiet. They are waiting order from the God. They are not so much excited. So they were waiting order of the Lord's. They were in discipline, with confidence. That is why they did not create any disorder. Sankhan Prathak Prathak, Sanjay says, O king, the army of the Pandavas just followed to Sri Krishna and they blew their conches. It means we are also ready for fighting. Now next one. Sa ghosho dhartarashtranam mirdani vidarayat nabhyascha prithivim chaiva tumulo vinunadayan. I repeat it one more time. Sa ghosho dhartarashtranam hridayani vedarayat nabhascha prithivim chaiva tumulo venunadayan. See the meaning? And that terrible sound echoing through heaven and earth rent the hearts of Dhritarashtra's son. Sanjay is explaining to the Dhritarashtra. He says, the ghost, the sound, which was created by Pandava's army, Ch1, the sound which was created by conches, kettle drums, and so many other instruments. It was so in rhythm. It was so in order. All Pandavas became so happy. That sound made Pandavas happy, joyful, and same sound. What did? Dhartarashtranam hridayani vedarayat. Sanjay is saying, O Rajan, O King, that sound was very, very haunting sound for Kauravas. And Sanjay is using the word Dhartarashtra. Dhartarashtra means what? Dhartarashtra means yours. Sanjay is trying to say that, Sanjay is making the point that it is happening because of you. If you had worked as a king, it would not have happened. It is happening, you and your sons, especially Duryodhana. Here other soft word would have been given, because at least Dhritarashtra is a king. Sanjay is saying Dhartarashtra means your sons. Dhritarashtra, the blind man. Dhritarashtra means the one who cannot see anything. Dhritarashtra means the one who was blind by birth. He did not have any experience of the colors. So Sanjay is saying directly, you are the responsible. He could have been huge a soft word, but he didn't. He is saying directly, Dhartarashtranam, it is happening because of you. It is your fault. Saghosho Dhartarashtranam hridayani vedarayat. Dhartarashtra means here Sanjay is saying that you are the guilty. Sanjay is saying that you and your sons are the guilty criminal. Hridayani vedarayat. And that sound rent the heart. Rent the heart means what? For Pandavas, that sound was very good, very smooth, very rhythmic. But for Kauravas, that sound becomes so haunting, so terrible, because let's understand. If someone committed a sin, that sin would make that person weak. No matter how strong you are in the body level, because the sin, the irreligious activity are against your nature. Our nature is pure. By nature, we are pure. We are truth. We love truth. But when we commit the unreligious act, the sinful act, we accept that we are guilty. In inner way, in my mind, it's saying that you are guilty. I am guilty. That is why whenever we commit a sin, we try to hide ourselves. So, Dhartarashtra means the person who have committed the sins. Saghoso Dhartarashtranam Hridayani Vedarayat. That sound became haunting sound for the Kauravas because they were criminals. In our scriptures, there is a word we use, that atatai. In Gita also this word will come. Atatai. Atatai means the very great sinner, very big sinner. Atatai. It means the person who set fire. We can say that this is Atatai, sinner. Kauravas did that. Another is the one who keeps poison someone, and Kauravas did. Another is the person who snatches someone's all property, and Kauravas did. So all big sins Kauravas did. That is why they are criminal. They are atatai. And when we did such criminal activity, our mind becomes very weak. Very weak. Because in that state, we start fighting with ourselves. Hridayani Vedarayat. Sanjay is saying, that is why Pandavas are weak. Now see, the army of the Kauravas are very big. Their number was very big. According to Mahabharata, they had 11 Akshoini Sena. Their number was 11. And Pandavas' army was only 7. So in number, they were very big. And their side, there were so many great warriors, soldiers like Bhishma, Dronacharya, Ashwatthama. They were great warriors. Like Bhishma, they had known about their own death. So their number was very big. Their power was very big. But because they did sins, that is why inside they were weak. Hridayani Vedarayat, the sound of which was created by the Pandavas, it becomes so fearful for Kauravas. Navascha Prithivim Chaiva Tamalo Venunadayan. Then what happens? Sanjay says, O Maharaj, O King, that sound echoing everywhere. It was in the space, it was in the earth. So let's understand the meaning of this word. When we have fear in our mind, wherever we go, the fear is with us, because fear is in the mind. Fear is not in the body. Fear is not in the object. Fear is not in the hand, in the leg, anywhere. Where fear resides, fear resides in the mind. So wherever you go, wherever you are with your mind, and mind is fearful. Same, Navascha Prithivim Chaiva Tumlo Venunadayan. Everywhere that sound was echoing to the Kauravas. Every time it becomes like nightmare. Wherever you go, wherever you do, that sound is echoing. Navascha Prathibim Chaiva Tumlo Venunaden. It was echoing everywhere, every time. Now, next one. Number 20. Atha Vyavasthitan Drishtva Dhartarashtan Kapidhvajaha Privirte Shastra Shampate Dhanuruddhamya Pandava. I repeat this verse again. You can follow me. Atha Vyavasthitan Drishtva Dhartarashtan Kapidhvajaha Privirte Shastra Shampate Dhanuruddhamya Pandava. See the meaning. And one more line we have to read. Rishikesam tada vakyam idamaha mahipate. I repeat. Rishikesam tada vakyam idamaha mahipate. See the meaning. Sanjay is saying, O king, thereafter, seeing Dhartarashtra means standing in their position, when all the weapons were ready for action, the son of Pandu, means Arjuna, who had the insignia of Hanuman, of his chariot flag, rising up his bow, said the following to Rishikesh. See the meaning one more time. Now, O Lord of the earth, seeing your sons arrayed against him, and when missiles were ready to be launched, Arjuna, who had the figure of Hanuman on the flag of the chariot, took up his bow and then addressed to the following words to Sri Krishna, place my chariot between the two armies. Now see. Atha Vyavasthitan Drishtva. We are studying the Gita. Still, we were just studying narration of the story. Narration of the story of Mahabharata. Sanjay is saying, Dhritarashtra was asked, the dialogue between Sanjay and Dhritarashtra. But now, the main character of the Gita, Arjuna, is enters. Artha means in Sanskrit, the very beautiful word, very auspicious word. It is like Om. Very auspicious word. So now, Vyasji is using Atha. After that, it all had happened then. Atha, very, very auspicious word. It means now something more significant is about to come. Now Gita is about to happen. So be careful. The story of the Mahabharata is getting transformed into nectar of the divine message. Ath, Sanjay is saying, Ath, now be ready. Yes, we are studying the Gita, but now we are entering into real message. Means now. We have heard so many times this word like Ath Yoganuशासनम, Ath Narad Bhakti, Ath Bhaktim Vyakhyasama, Athatu Bhaktim Vyakhya. So many times we have read this word. So Ath came here. Atha vyavasthitan dishtva dhartrashtan kapidhvaja privritte shastra sampate dhanruddham pandava. Sanjay is saying to the Dhritarashtra, O king, Arjun, having seen your son, they were ready to fight. Privritte shastra sampate. Anytime the war can begin, because Kauravas are ready. They were so excited. Every Atha Vyavasthitan Drishtva, and they were in arrayed position for fighting. Now comes Kapidhvaja. Kapidhvaja means, Kapi means the monkey. Here Kapi means the Hanuman. Lord Hanuman, who was staying, who was residing in the flag of the Arjun. Kapidhvaja. That is, this is name of the Arjun, Kapidhvaja. Privritte shastra sampate dhanuruddhamya pandava. Then Arjun also took his bow and he was ready to fight. So, only thing was, war was already declared. But Arjun is not ready yet. Pandavaha, the Arjuna, Rishikesam tada vakyamidamaha mahipate. And that time, I previous also told you, in the war there were some rules. It was war. It was fighting. But there were some rules. And everyone had to follow them. So Arjun knew that. Kauravas are also ready, Pandavas are also ready, war had declared. But Arjun takes time. He took his bow, Trishikesam tada vakyamidamaha mahipate. Sanjay says, O Mahipate, O king. Then the Pandav, the Arjun, Rishikesam, Lord Sri Krishna. Rishikesh means the Krishna. Rishikesh means the controller of the sense organs. He said to the Krishna, now Arjun uvat sena ubhayo madhye ratam sthapaya mechyutah. Arjun, he addressed to the following word to his charioteer Krishna. Now Arjun is addressing to the Krishna. This is the first dialogue between Krishna and Arjun. Yet Krishna is silent. But Arjun started to speak. Arjun started to speak, but Krishna yet silence. But dialogue has begun. Arjun says, Senayorubhayor madhye ratam sthapaya mechyutah. I chant this. Arjun uvacha. Senayorubhayor madhye ratam sthapaya mechyutah. Senayorubhayor madhye ratam sthapaya mechyutah. Sanjay says, O king, then address the following words to Sri Krishna. Arjun says, O Krishna, place my chariot between the two armies. Arjun says, Senayo Rubhayor Madhye, O Krishna, my chariot placed between two armies. Very strange. Arjun was giving order to Lord Sri Krishna. And he had rights because Krishna was driver. The typical word is Sarthi. And Arjun was the Rathi. Rathi means the owner. And Sarthi means the driver. So Arjun had that right. He can give order to the Lord. He says, Senayoruvayor madhye ratam sthapaya me achyuta. Hey Krishna, my chariot placed between two armies. Very strange. In fighting, in war. No one could be in between. You fight either this side or other side. You are free. You take this side or that side. In fighting, in war, there is no between. You have to take one side. Kaurav side or Pandav side. And Arjun was also in Pandav side. But he says, Ratham sthapaya, my chariot. You place the between both armies. And Arjun fought so many wars. And he won. He fought. So Arjun was not new. And nothing was new to Arjun. And it never happened. You go to between two armies. But this time, Arjun says, Ratham sthapaya me chutah. O Krishna, this is my chariot placed between two armies. See, Krishna was Sarthi. Without saying anything. But Dhritarashtra asked to Sanjay, why Arjuna is doing so? What the purpose? War is already declared. He should fight. But why is he going to in between both armies? He was so curious, so excited to know that about Arjun. Sanjay is explaining to him, Senayoruvayor madhye ratam sthapaya me chuta. O Krishna, Arjun said, my chariot placed between both armies. Why? And how much time will you take in between both armies? So now next one. Yavadetan niriksheham yodhukama navasthitan kairmaya sayodhavyam asmin ranasamuddame. I repeat. Yavadetan niriksheham yodhukama navasthitan kairmaya sayodhavya asmin ranasamuddame. See the meaning? Arjun says, and keep it there till I have carefully observed these warriors drawn up for by whom I have to engage in this fight. See the meaning again. Arjun says, O Krishna, that I may have a good look at those who are standing eager to fight and know with whom I have to fight in this enterprises of war. Dhritarashtra was so curious why Arjuna is going in between two armies. Sanjay is explaining. Sanjay is saying, O king, Arjuna thought, Yavadeta niriksheham. I want to be there. I want to be between two armies. For what? My purpose is I want to have a good look. I want to see both armies. Where I am standing, I can see only opposite party. If I go in between, then I can see both parties, both armies. So Yavadetan Niriksheham, I want to see them. Yodhu Kaman Avastitan, who has come here for fighting. And because faces are so similar, this war is not so simple. Because faces are so similar. Half are this side, half were this side. So very difficult to know that who is my enemy and who is with me. Kairmaya sayodabhya. So I have to know that. With whom I have to fight. I have to know very, very clearly with whom I have to fight. Asmin Rana Samuddhame. Now next one. Yotsemana naviksheham ya eti atra samagataha dhartarashtrasya durubuddhe yuddhe priyachikirshavah. I chant one more time. Yotsemana naviksheham ya eti atra samagataha dhartarashtrasya durubuddhe yuddhe priyachikirshavah. See the meaning. I shall have a look at the well-wisher of evil-minded Duryodhana in this war. Whoever have assembled on this side and are ready for the fight. See, one more time the translation. For I desire to observe those who are assembled here to fight, wishing to please in battle the evil-minded Duryodhana, the son of Dhritarashtra. Sanjay is explaining to the king Dhritarashtra. He is saying, O king, Arjuna said, I want to see them, Yotsemanan, who has come here for fighting. And what a purpose for their fighting. Ya ete atra samagataha. The only purpose is them to support Duryodhana. They have come here for please to Duryodhana, support to Duryodhana. And who is Duryodhana? Who is Duryodhana? Arjuna is saying, Durubuddhe. In Gita, you will come to know so many times the word buddhi, intellect. So many times you will encounter the word buddhi, intellect. Everything is depending on the intellect. So Arjuna is giving here in a word to Duryodhana. Who is Duryodhana? Duryodhana is Durubuddhe. Durubuddhe means evil-minded. He is very intelligent. Duryodhana is very intelligent. I knew that. But his mind is, his intellect is full of evil, full of sin. Every sin he had committed. He had committed. And because of that person, because of Duryodhana, everything is happening. The war, the fighting, evil mind. Durbuddhi. The thought of Duryodhanas are not good. Actions are Duryodhanas not good. And the most important thing is, everyone knew. It is not hidden to anyone because he was doing the sins from very childhood. So everyone knew that Duryodhana is evil mind. And see, our scriptures are saying, if someone commits sin, this is our duty. We have to stop that person. This is our duty as an individual, as a society. If someone doing wrong, we have to stop. And that is why, and that is the concept we have made society structure. We made police, military, court. What the purpose? The purpose is, if someone commits wrong things, you stop them. This is the purpose. If someone does any wrong activity, stop. Stop by in family level, society level, or police, or military. Anyhow, but purpose is to stop that commit sin. And if you are not able to stop that activity, then scriptures are saying, if you are not able, then you have to go away. Do not be part that incident. If you don't have the capacity to stop that sin, you should not watch. You should not witness. You must leave from that place. At least, this is the last option. If someone commits sin, wrong activity, irreligious actions, and we support them, this is the more sin. So everyone knew that. Duryodhana is doing wrong activities. Durbudhe yuddhepi chikirshavaha. He says, knowing that, but there are so many kings. They have come here to fight, to please Duryodhana. So I want to see them, who they are. Now, next one. Sanjay Uvacha Eva Mukto Rishikesho Gudakeshena Bharataha Senayo Rubhayor Madhe Sthapayitva Rathottamam. We read two verses together. Bhishma Drona Pramukhata Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam Uvacha Partha Pashyaitan Samavetan Kuru Nitihi. I repeat again. Eva Mukto Rishikesho Gudakeshena Bharata Senayo Rubhayor Madhe Sthapayitva Rathottamam. Bhishma Drona Pramukhata Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam Uvacha Partha Pashyaitan Samavetan Kuru Nitihi. See the meaning. Sanjay said, O king, thus addressed by Arjun, Sri Krishna placed the magnificent chariot between the two armies in front of the Bhishma, Drona, and all the kings, and said, Arjun, behold these Kauravas assembled here. See the meaning again. Sanjay says, O king, thus addressed by Arjun, Sri Krishna placed his magnificent chariot between the two armies in front of Bhishma, Drona, and all kings, and said, Arjun, behold these Kauravas assembled here. Sanjay is explaining to the king Dhritarashtra. He says, when Arjun said, O Krishna, place my chariot between both armies, and without any question, Krishna did. He did not ask why. This is the godliness. No question, no argument. As you say, God follows. The problem is with us. God is saying something, we are doing something else. We don't listen to God, but God listens to us every time. See, Arjun said, place my chariot between both armies. Krishna did not speak any single word. Guda keshena bharata senayor ubayor madhe, between both armies. But Krishna played a trick. Krishna did a leela. He could place the chariot in front of the Duryodhana. He could place the chariot of Arjun in front of the Dushasana or any other. And he could say that, see, this is the Duryodhana. Durbuddhi, evil-minded, immediately kill. But it would not happen. Then Gita would not have been happened. Senayor ubhayor madhe, as Arjuna said, Krishna did. But he played a leela. Bhishma Drona Pramukhata Sarve Cham Chamahiksitam. He took the chariot and placed in front of the Bhishma and Dronacharya and other great kings. He placed the chariot of Arjun in front of the Bhishma and Dronacharya. He knew that this is the weak point of Arjun. If I place the chariot in front of the Duryodhana, then there is no chance of Gita. Immediately, war would have been started. Immediately, there was no question. But Krishna played a trick. He placed the chariot in front of the Bhishma. Bhishma Drona Pramukhatam Sarve Cham Chamahikshitam. Uvacha Partha Pashaitan. And now Sri Krishna said, O Arjun, you wanted to see the army of the Kauravas. Now see, Pashya. Pashya means behold. Bhishma Drona Pramukha. And Arjun is watching there. Uvacha Partha Pashaitan. Uvacha Krishna said, O Parth, O Arjun, Samavetan Kuru Niti. These Kuru. When word is used, Kaurava or Kuru, it means both. Kuru means Kaurav and Pandav both. When word is Dhritarashtra, then only Kauravas. So Krishna says, O Arjun, Samavetan Kuruniti. You see, you can see both armies. There is your army, and this is the army of the Kauravas. This is the point from where you can see both armies. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Sankaracharyam Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत। ओम शांति